Hey guys, let's talk about aging theories. I'm not going to do a full lecture on this because I feel like the chapter's really good and really straightforward, and I'm sure you don't want a 2-hour lecture on aging theory, but I did want to kind of give you some big picture ways to kind of come at aging theory and frame, your buy-in on, why we're covering this in general. So let's talk about theory. Um, why do we study theory in graduate school? It's because it seeks to explain a phenomenon of interest. And it's really relevant to us because we have to understand all different kinds of theory in order to apply it to everyday practice. And that's kind of where we're going with this. Now, what are we interested in? What's the phenomenon that we're really interested in understanding in this course? It's about aging. We want to know why people age, why people experience aging differently. And so we're seeking to explain the aging process, the different experiences of aging, why it's different for each person, and then looking at it through different lenses. And so you'll see through the lens of biology, through the lens of social interaction or sociology, social connectedness, and the context and environments, through the lens of psychology. And so, all these different ones, and then bridging the two, biology and psychology, and what does that look like? And so there's lots of different theories out there because there's multiple lenses to look through. So don't let theory intimidate you. It used to really intimidate me, and I used to think, oh, snooze fest. We're studying theory, but really it's quite interesting, and it's kind of fun to kind of figure out, well, where do I stand, and which theories do I agree with, and which two or three might I combine to form my viewpoint, or maybe even what would I bounce off of to generate a new theory, because theories are always being developed.
It's 4:30.
Yes, I still have that on my computer reminding me what time it is. So, biological theories of aging. I'm going to go through some of the different lenses that you'll see in this chapter. When you're thinking in terms of biological theories of aging, they're going to capitalize on and describe like the cellular, the systemic, and organismal changes that we see. They're going to seek to explain what happens at a cellular level, or what systemic changes in the body happen with aging, and explain why we're experiencing the symptoms of aging. And then what does that look like in each organism, and how does it vary from organism to organism? And so it's going to kind of describe that from like our standpoint. So study on rats or mice versus humans, that kind of thing. So when you're thinking, I want you to put on your OT cap while you're thinking about theories of aging, because we're thinking about the aging constructs through the lens, the macro level lens of OT first. So first and foremost, we're thinking about it from OT, and then each taking on micro level lenses. So kind of our second little, have you ever seen those glasses that kind of come in and they have like an additional lens for you to look through? So our micro level lens of these different aging theories. So keep your OT hat on while you're looking at theories of aging. So when you're thinking about biological theories of aging, you're also thinking about client factors and performance skills. So those are things we talked about even last week in our psychosocial field work when we were applying in the case of Ray. Do you remember what client factors and performance skills are? And so those kind of go into those systemic things and observations that you can make with the client, and what the resulting performance skill looks like from those. So this is the newest kind of category of aging theory, is the neuropsychological theories of aging, and they've combined a few. It draws from neurology, physiology, and psychology. So what's going on in the brain, what's going on in the body, and what's going on in the psyche too. So it focuses on age-related and neurodegenerative changes in brain function and behavior, which is kind of interesting, right? So basically what I want you to think about is the bridging of biology and psychology happening here. So you might, in a study that's looking through the lens of neuropsychology, you might look at one's like genetic predisposition to a certain condition, like the book uses Alzheimer's as an example, while simultaneously looking at that individual's coping skills. So the psychology would be the coping skills, and the genetic predisposition would be the biology in that. Psychological theories of aging. My jam is somewhere in between the neuropsych and the psychological theories. My doctorate that I'm about to earn is in educational psychology, and we talked a lot about developmental psychology and those kinds of things. So I want you to think about development, and we'll look at the terms of development here in a minute. But really, psychological theories of aging are going to emphasize individuals' experiences and strategies for coping in later life. So things that they've encountered and then how they cope through them. And so when you're thinking about things that are encountered, you're thinking about those opportunities for development, and development, specifically cognitive development, personality development, and social development too. We're still talking about psychological theories of aging. So thinking in broader terms of the OTPF, you're thinking about multiple things when you're talking about psychology. So we'd be taking into account client factors. You take into account performance patterns. Remember, like habits, routines, all those things. And then performance skills too. So it's going to be a broader lens that we're looking through in this regard, in my opinion. Sociological theory. So most of you probably took a sociology course to get into OT school. So remember the things that you studied in sociology versus psychology. Sociology is about interactions with others and norms and the social influences. So thinking about that in regards to aging. So sociological theories are going to describe the interaction of the older adult population with the population at large or in general. So I want you to think immediately when you hear sociological theories of aging, think context and environments in which social interactions occur, okay? Or don't occur, okay? What the quality of those interactions look like. So why do we study theory? Big picture. Especially aging theory. So each of the clusters of the theories contribute to an understanding of occupational engagement and meaning in later life, and might help explain why. And that's the whole purpose of theory, is to explain the why of something and to try to help you figure it out. And sometimes in that why you can troubleshoot and find the cause and also the solution too. And here's my reference. I hope you enjoyed today. Please be sure to do your Kahoot that follows this.